Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today is part 4 of the Branchline build, and we're going to be focusing today on the first part of the scenery, which will involve the track detail. The track detailing is anything involved in the infrastructure of the railway. In this video we'll be doing the stuff that's embedded within the ballast, and then once I have done the ballasting and the track weathering, there will be a little bit more track detail to add afterwards. Hopefully it won't be too much of a long video today. I've done these track detailing videos for both of my previous 2 layouts, so it's all sort of relatively similar stuff. What I'll do is I'll just talk through the piece of detail which I'll add, the product I'm using, anything I've done to it, and then the installation method, and also its purpose in the real world. So let's jump straight into it. Right, the first detail we're going to be looking at is the platform edges. These will be the edges which will make up the platforms for the Great Deltan station terminus for the branch line, and if you've watched any of the videos from my previous 2 layouts, you know how I build station platforms, and the primary method is using edges and then filler. So once again we're going to be using these Pico concrete platform edges. They will be lining the track on the 3 platforms of Great Deltan over there. And then when we come to do the station in a separate video, that's when I'll be doing the filler. But of course the ballast does go right up to these platform edges, so they need to be part of this video, as sort of this video will be the first one, well the last one before I start ballasting. So what I've got here is the platform edges which I have prepped already. They have been weathered down with the roof dirt paint using an airbrush method, and then you'll see I've painted some of the columns in black, as I'd like to stick some cables on the side of them. You'll see often or not in many stations that the platform edges are used for containment of cables and pipes. It's just an easy method for transporting infrastructure and facilities to one end of the station to the other, really, as it's, you know, under the platform. It's easier than digging down and hiding it all, so why not just whack it on the outside of the platform edges? So that's what I'd like to mimic with this one. I think it'd be quite a nice detail to add. You don't always see it too often modelled either. So I'm going to get on with the sticking down of these first. It'll be a nice easy method, just some super glue straight onto the cork bed. You'll notice that platform number 3 there at the back is slightly curved, but it's not going to be, it's not a particularly tight radius, so I don't have to worry about warming these up and flexing them to the correct angle. They are bendy enough just to get around that pretty broad curve. So I'll join you when those are stuck down, and then we'll move on to the next detail. And here we have the now installed platform edges. Just a quick talk through of the layout plan for the branch line. This will be the most detailed area with the station terminus. I'll build a small extension on the side here to accommodate a sort of station building, and then there'll be some canopies on the platform, if I have room, that is. They are rather thin, but we'll see what we can fit. And then coming over here there'll be a small signal box. This will just be for the branch line. There'll be a bit of trunking, a bit of signalling, nothing too accurate. I just like to have the details, I'm not too fussed about the accuracy. And then what I'm essentially going to be replicating is a previously double tracked main line, which has now just been singled down with the reduction in traffic over the years. So I'm going to have a little piece of track just here, and that will just sort of terminate here. At some point this crossing would have been changed to just a left-hand turnout, and then I'd like to put a gravel path down the side of the track on the left-hand side there to mimic what was the previous line, and that is a reference to the Northampton and Lamport Railway, where I used to do a lot of volunteer work, as there is a gravel path down the side of the line there. Just a nice detail to add, and there'll be sort of remnants here and there of what was previously a double track main line, and yeah. So there's going to be a little bit of detail. At the back there, there'll just be an embankment going along all the way down the side of the line, pretty much the entire length all the way to the next station then. What you see before you is the containment that will go on the side of the platform edges. It's just made from a piece of plasticard, and that's spray painted in aluminium to act as the cable tray work, which is often seen mounted upon the platform edges. And then you've just got some rodding which has been painted in a gloss black, and that's making up our cables. Whole thing's stuck together with just some super glue, so that I'll mount that on the side of the platform over there, just on the one visible edge on the inside there. I think that'll make for a nice detail. Also here I've just got a piece of plastic card which I've painted in a concrete colour. It needs weathering down with the roof dirt, and that will be the backing for the platforms. Just going to go right there at the back between the two edges to create the enclosure for the ballast. Right, while that piece of containment for the platform is drying, I thought we'd move on to some line side trunking. This is pretty much seen everywhere on the network, as it contains the essential cables for the signalling and the point motors and communications along the line, so it's very important that it is protected, and that's what we have this trunking hose for. This is a product by 3D Wagon Works. It just comes as a 3D printed sprue. Once again, I've painted it up in the concrete colour and then weathered it down with the roof dirt. It's a pretty common theme with all the concrete paint. A lot of the infrastructure on the network is concrete because it needs to be hard standing and pretty durable. So I've got all these lengths here. I'm not sure if I have the entire amount that I need for the length of the line, but I'll always order some more if I need it. I'm going to stick these down just at the side of the line, and then I'll give you a quick run through of what the plan is up by the station, as it's a little bit more complex. Right, so here we are up by the station, and the plan is to have a signal box round about here. This will just be for the branch line, and then obviously that signal box will operate the point motors for the line, so we'll have a couple of dummy point motors here and here, so that I'll need to get some cables to there. So I've also put these orange tubes in. These are quite often seen to bring cables under the line for the infrastructure, and again it just protects the cables while it's all contained nicely in these tubes. These again are just pieces of plastic rodding, however they have the metal wire inside. Thought maybe quite a cool effect rather than just having a plastic white end on it, just to make it look like it's actually got cables inside. So they will come under there, and then we'll have the line side trunking going off down the branch line on this side of the track. We'll have a little bit coming up here for this point motor, and then we'll also have one for this point motor. Got another one here as well because I plan on putting a 2-aspect signal here. In terms of signalling, I'm not really going for accuracy, I just thought it's a nice detail to add, but I'll go for some accuracy and put signals where I think they may go. Like I said, I'm not a signalman though. So yeah, that is the trunking plan. We're going to have a signal box here, trunking coming out up to that signal, trunking coming down this way under the tracks for this point motor off into the distance there. Going to have another signal round about here for the home into the station. Again, just a normal 2-aspect signal, and we will move on to those in a bit more detail when I get to it. Also, while that's been drying, I've also stuck down the dummy track, which will mimic what was previously a double line going into the station. It's going to be quite a nice detail to add. What I'll do is, when this is dried, I'll just yank the tracks that way a little bit, so we've got some empty sleepers as well. That way it looks like some of the track has started to be removed, but eventually they're just thrown in the towel and given up. Right, the area by the station is starting to look a little bit more populated now, with some detail. I've gone ahead and popped in all of the line side trunking, all the way down to the bottom and to the far right there, where the curve terminates this section of track. And I've popped over those rails off the sleepers and then cut them to 2 60-foot lengths, which is about 24 centimetres. Obviously here the webbing between the sleepers doesn't look great, and in hindsight I probably should have cut all the webbing off, stuck down the track and then slid it all off. But we'll see how it looks when the ballast is all on. It may look okay-ish still. Got some trunking up here, we've got our tubing, and I've also stuck the detail there on the side of the platform with the cable containment, which doesn't look too bad at all. Right, I decided to relay this piece of disused track, and I went ahead and cut all the webbing off between the sleepers. I do not envy those 00 gauges who choose to do all the custom spacer sleeping by cutting off every single piece of webbing between the sleepers on the track. This was just enough doing this tiny little section here, but that does look a lot better and looks very much more realistic and more disused. Just need to pop in this piece of orange conduit under there when I paint a little bit more of that and when this is completely dry. I've also gone ahead and popped in this walkway. This will go from the signal box here down here over the tracks, and then we'll form the walkway for access for the staff from the station then. This here is a Scaledale Liddell end piece, the only end gauge building I've ever owned from Hornby. And then this shed here is just a cheap card or plastic kit which I got from a rail exhibition. Got it at the Engage show actually this year, and I got it for free because I spent so much at this one stall on the Pretendolino set. But this is just made of plastic card. It's meant to mimic sort of concrete slabs which are just put in half-heartedly by Network Rail when they took over the station. Gonna paint these up in concrete, weather them down, and then got a couple more details to do before we finish this video and it comes to a conclusion. Right, while all that is drying, I'm going to move on to installing some catch pits. These are strategically placed periodically along the railway line. They're used to catch debris, oil and bits that you don't want going down your drains and blocking or causing environmental issues. So you get these grids which can be opened up and emptied out as and when needed. And these are some products by 3D Wagon Works. They're just the printed grates. I've painted them up in some blue, but they're a little bit flat because they are just the tops. So in order to elevate them above the level of the ballast, we're going to be sticking them on these plastic hard bases, painting them in concrete, and I'll probably double these up so that they're nice and high and they're quite noticeable. And then what we'll do is we'll stick them on this side of the track, because obviously this is meant to be a double main line and the catch pits will sit between the two tracks there, once upon a time before that line was removed long ago. Probably put them about 30 centimetres apart. I'm not really sure on the distance, but I'm not too bothered. It's just a nice little bit of detail to add there. So we'll go ahead and pop all these in. Right, the catch pits are now fitted all the way along the length of the line at various intervals, and they don't look too bad at all, so they'll be nice and embedded in the ballast when that comes. I've also done these extra layers of trunking here. When the ballast is done, these will house some relay boxes just at the side of the track. Just weathered down these sleepers because they had a bit of a glue stain on the top of them, so just a quick airbrush with some roof dirt, my favourite weathering paint, and that's brought them into a nice colour. So here is the walkway and the network rail signal area. I've also given a quick airbrush to the bottom of the buildings. As you can imagine, they get a lot of dirt from the line side and also just general grime that builds up on the side. So that's all the way around. Probably hard to see, but I've also popped a little bit of roof dirt paint on the steps as well. I imagine they get quite dirty in the winter and they're probably not maintained or cleaned very often. So come along here, I've done all this as well, all nice and weathered down, airbrushed nicely. So there really is only two jobs left now until this video is done. Number one is to pop this piece of orange trunking in. That's just over here drying as we speak, so once that's done I'll pop that back in. And then the other one is to fit two signals. One is going to go here where this piece of orange conduit comes under the track, and then the other one will be just here where this T-joint is off the trunking. These are the two signals which I'm going to be using. They are by CR Signals. They're just 2-aspect LED signals. They're going to be manually controlled with a couple of on switches, so they can only be green or red. And I'll just set up a little control console at the front here, which will be local to this area. Not really going to be too much signalling on the branch line, just a bit here and there to add some detail. So get on with those. We'll pop in the conduit, and then this area will be ready for ballast. Right, well, the signal is now in, along with the other one towards the station platform. And I've also popped in that last piece of conduit just there. That's just drying. The signals are only currently temporarily wired into this 12-volt DC supply. I do plan on having a full lighting bus. I just haven't come around to installing it yet because I'm not going to be doing a fair bit more lighting until after the branch line. So what I do have at the minute is just this temporary setup. You see the DC 12-volt goes into these terminals, and then we've just got two copper strips which provide the lighting. At the minute it's just the negatives from the signals, and then we've got this supply wire which goes to these two switches just here which control the signals manually. Not too fussed about having automatic signals on the branch line, but I will have it on the main line when it comes around to building that, using the Heathcote modules that I've used in the past. So that brings us to the end of this video. As I said, it was only going to be a quick one, just giving a quick demonstration of what I'm going to be using for some track details. As I said, I've done these videos in the past and it's all sort of a similar thing. In the next video we're going to be looking at ballasting. That shouldn't be too much of a long video either, as that's all a bit of much of a muchness, and I just use a generic method, but I will give a quick talk through just for some content. So yeah, thank you for watching once again. Hopefully you got some ideas from this video for some track detailing, as it really does enhance the look of the track work and can set it aside from that train set look. So we'll join you in the next video. Stay safe everybody, and bye bye.